Hello students, good morning to you. We are continuing our chapter 7 of class 11, that is structural organization in animals. In the last class, I have given you the introduction about the chapter that how structural organization occurs in animals. So they are made up of different type of tissues. I have gave you the broad explanation of these tissues, and today we will study about the tissues separately in complete description. So the tissues, first epithelial tissue, we will study about epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue, as we know, is of two types. One is simple epithelial tissue and another is compound epithelial tissue. Clear? Simple epithelial tissue is made up of single layer of cells, whereas compound epithelial tissue is made up of multiple layer of cells. Again, simple epithelial tissue is divided into mainly three types, but here we will study about four types. Clear? So first is your squamous epithelial, second one is your cuboidal epithelial, third one is your columnar epithelial, and fourth one is your columnar ciliated or ciliated epithelial. Clear? So let's start about the epithelial tissue. First, squamous epithelial tissue. If we see the structure of squamous epithelial, they are single layer and flat structure. You can see the diagram here. This is single layer, means single layer of cells are arranged in it, and flat by shape. You can see the diagram. This is flat cells. That's why it is named as squamous. And the nucleus is present, as we know, nucleus is present in the central part of the cell. So they are the cells, and inside the cell the nucleus is present. This is your squamous epithelial tissue. So what is its function and how it looks like? As I have told you, this is flat in structure. Its cells are irregular, means not a particular size. Its cells are irregular, and irregular boundaries also forms inner lining of alveoli, then your blood vessels. Clear? Blood vessels and peritoneum of body cavities. It means the epithelial tissue, squamous epithelial tissue, is flat, irregular boundary, and its main function is constitutes the inner lining. Suppose this one is outer lining, this one is inner lining. So inner lining of any ducts, that is made up of squamous epithelial tissue, that is alveoli. The inner lining of alveoli, if you see the diagram of alveoli, it looks like this. So the inner lining of alveoli is made up of squamous epithelial tissue. Then blood vessels, as we know, blood vessels are very thin. That's why as the tissue is single layered, so the thin blood vessels are also made up of squamous epithelial tissue. Next is your peritoneum of body cavity, means different cavities. Body cavity, as we are true coelomic animals, so our body cavity means the internal layer of our body is made up of squamous epithelial tissue. Clear? Next is your cuboidal epithelial tissue. The name represents itself. Cuboidal means the cells are arranged like cubes. You can see here the diagram. This is cuboidal epithelial tissue, and the cells are arranged like cubes. Clear? So cubicle in vertical, smaller ducts of salivary gland, pancreas, thyroid, etc. Means they are cuboidal in shape. They have regular fixed boundary. Clear? Here the basement membrane is present through which these cells are attached to form the tissue, and they form the ducts and glands. Means which ducts? Salivary gland, then pancreatic duct, thyroid gland, etc. And its main function is to absorption and secretion. As we know, the function of ducts and glands is to secrete and absorb, as cuboidal tissue is made up of makes these ducts and glands, so its main function is to secretion and absorption. Clear? So secretion, what type of secretion? Secretion of enzymes and hormones. Means They help in the making of ducts and glands. You here see the diagram. This is cuboidal cells, cube-shaped structure, and this part is the basement membrane. Next is your columnar epithelial tissue. Column means tall and vertical structure. Here the epithelial cells, which makes the epithelial tissue, arranged as columns, means what they are arranged like this. They are called as columnar. You can see the diagram here. They are columnar epithelial cells. Again, this is the basement membrane. This is the basement membrane, and this is the nucleus. The nucleus are oval in shape. The nucleus are oval in shape. Columnar, tall, slender, pillar-like, and having one oval nucleus, means this is the tissue in which nucleus is not circular. Nucleus is oval in shape, like egg-shaped. And all the tissues are tall and slender. And their function is, they form the inner lining of the stomach, means the inner surface of the stomach is made up of which tissue? Columnar. Then the gallbladder, intestine, gastric gland, and intestinal gland also made up of this type of tissue. Again I am telling you, columnar epithelial tissue constitutes the lining of stomach, small intestine, gallbladder, etc., etc. And its function is also absorption and secretion. Clear? As we know, small intestine also secretes some enzymes, and gallbladder also secretes bile, as they are function is secretion. Clear? Next is your ciliated epithelial tissue. Squamous, we have studied squamous, cuboidal, columnar. Here is ciliated. Students, remember, when cuboidal and columnar tissues bear cilia, remember, when cuboidal and columnar tissues bear cilia, they form ciliated epithelium. This is the diagram of ciliated epithelium. Means the cells are like columnar, long, tall, slender, and here you can see cilia. So how you define it? When cuboidal and columnar epithelial cells bear cilia, they are called as ciliated epithelium. As cilia is present, so simply their function must be movement or locomotion. So which type of substance they locomote or move to one place to another? Let's see. Ciliated epithelial tissue main function is, it is present in the inner lining of fallopian tube and bronchioles, nasal passages. As we know, through fallopian tube, ova is released. Ova or ovum is released. So for the movement of ovum, here cilia is present, and this is made up of, we can say, as ciliated epithelium tissue. Again, bronchioles are the small linings that arise from the bronchi. They also takes oxygen and releases out the other materials that goes into our lungs. And also the nasal passage. Nasal passage have some hair-like structures in the tissues, which makes the tissue as ciliated epithelium. Clear? Next we will study about glandular tissue. The name is so because it forms or constitutes all the glands present in our body. Glandular tissue is of two types. One is unicellular gland and another is multicellular gland. Means the glands which we see is of two types. One is unicellular and another is multicellular. So their main function is to secrete enzyme and hormone. Enzyme and hormone. So what type of secretion occurs through glandular tissue? Let's see. We can see the glandular tissues form exocrine, Glandulate tissues form exocrine and endocrine glands. As we know, exo means out, endo means in. So the tissues that made exocrine and endocrine glands are glandular tissue. Let's see how they do a particular function. Clear? So exocrine means, as we know, enzymes. They secrete enzymes. And they secrete hormones. So which glands of our body secrete enzymes? Salivary gland. Then your stomach. Then your intestine. Clear? They are the glands from which secretion of enzymes occurs. Clear? Instead of this gland, there are some more glands also, like secretion of mucus, secretion of milk from the mammary gland, you can say secretion of mucus, secretion of milk, etc. occurs through the exocrine glands. Means that secretion is poured to outside and they have ducts. Exocrine glands have ducts, and through these ducts the enzymes are carried to different parts of the body, and these glands are made up of single layer of cells. Single layer of cells. Clear? Exocrine gland is made up of single layer of cells. And we can say exocrine gland with a simple, clear, simple branched duct is called simple gland. Simple branched duct is called simple gland. Means exocrine is again forms simple gland. When we will say it as simple gland, when it is made up of simple branched duct is called simple gland. Clear? Then compound gland, when the simple branched ducts have many branches. When many branches, they are called compound gland. Means from exocrine gland, we can say that one is simple gland and another is compound gland. Clear, students? This is your exocrine gland. Next is endocrine. Endo means ductless. These glands are ductless glands. Ductless glands, and they secrete hormone, as I have right here. They secrete hormone, and hormones are secreted in a trace amount directly into blood. You have studied in class 10. In trace amount into blood. Traced amount means continuously its secretion occurs into the blood as they have no ducts. Clear? So here exocrine and this is endocrine. And the endocrine glands, you know, you have already studied in class 10. Your thyroid gland, thymus gland, then your other glands are parathyroid gland, pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary, etc. are the endocrine glands. So these are the glands which we study, exocrine and endocrine. And next topic is compound epithelium. Next topic is compound epithelium. So what is compound epithelium, and when we will say it as compound epithelium, students remember, when it is consists of more than compound epithelium. When we will say it as compound epithelium, when the tissue is made up of, when the tissue is consist of multi-layer of cells is called compound epithelium. It provides the mechanical strength or mechanical support to the organ. Clear? It provides, as it has many layers, so it can't secrete, it can't participate in secretion and absorption. It just gives mechanical strength to the organ which it made to the organ. If we see the diagram, we can see multiple layers like this. This is the basement membrane and they are the cells arranged in multiple layers. So this is a compound epithelial tissue. Compound epithelial tissue. So students, this is your completion of epithelial tissue. In the next class we will study about connective tissue.